everyone, good morning.
Yes, good morning. This is Barry and Christian again for the, let's say the review for the second sprint, because this is the second week that we just finished when we really started this new direction. And as Christian and I promised to each other, let's do the sprint planning and the sprint review, etc. most of the time outside.
So let's just take a look around and see how beautiful it is over here with the sun coming through the trees. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
So what did we deliver this sprint? How do we deliver value to our patrons?
I think our main goal was to not only provide an excellent PSM2 class, because we also had a PSM2 class, but mostly to set up the new tiers, let's say the new levels in Patreon. And I think we succeeded.
I think, how do we know we succeeded?
I just got feeling.
No, but I think what's really nice is that we got, I think, 14 patrons in the Liberator tier, which is the highest level, which was a very nice surprise. We didn't really have an expectation, but it was quite a lot.
Yeah.
And in general, a lot of patrons joined us.
Yeah.
We didn't receive any negative feedback on our decision to either change the tiers or make the meetups patron only.
Yeah.
Of course, we are aware that if people are critical, they may not necessarily voice it, but still, I think it's a good sign, right?
Yeah. And a lot of people changed their tiers because to them it makes sense to do an upgrade or to say, okay, I'm gonna step down and I'm gonna go to a different tier. So in a way, it offers a lot of clarity, and people have a lot of freedom to choose the tier that suits them best.
Did you know that our revenue before we started with our 2 sprints, it was 13% of our financial goal, and now we're at 20% of our financial goal. So we gained 7%, which is a good sign. I mean, we still have 80% to go, so we're not there yet at all, but at least we're going in the right direction. I think that's a really good sign.
Yeah.
Orders in our web shop have really increased, the number. Actually, last week it dropped a little bit, but that was also a nice example, I think, of regression to the mean, one of those biases that we talked about. And interestingly, also a lot of patrons that joined. So it's far more patrons joined last week than in all the weeks before, which is a really good sign.
Yeah.
So we have metrics to back up that I think we had a pretty successful sprint too.
Cool.
So now what?
That's something that we're going to figure out for the upcoming hour.
Okay. So we'll do a sprint retrospective after this. I think we'll also recap this briefly in a video for the viewers.
And then the
we'll
sprint planning.
Cool. So see you back in 30 minutes,
Yep.
I think.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And we're back. So we just had a long walk and had a conversation about, so what are we going to do the upcoming sprint? What is the goal for the upcoming sprint? And Chris, can you explain what we are going to try to achieve?
Yes. So in the previous sprint, we received a lot of new patrons that are in the Liberator level, and one of the benefits for them is to receive 5 tried and tested strings with liberating structures so they can unleash their team. And in order to actually deliver that benefit, we're going to focus this sprint on creating a way for Barry and me to quickly generate those strings from a Trello board and share them with people as a PDF. It's both for the Liberator tier, but we're also going to put some of those in our web shop. We're also going to make some available for our Zombie Scrum book. So in short, to deliver 5 tried and tested strings in a nicely formatted PDF that people can download. That's the goal for next sprint.
And do the patrons have an opportunity to give feedback?
Yes, because this is going to be our very first sprint review that we're going to host publicly. So the last 2 sprints, Barry and I have been doing the sprint review together because we've already been gathering a lot of feedback during the sprint on Patreon. But this time we're going to do a sprint review. It's happening on Friday in the afternoon, at least for us in our time zone. And it's going to be an opportunity for us to share what we've created, what the done increment looks like, and for you to give us feedback on how valuable and useful it is to you. But does that mean, Barry, that we're only going to ship on Friday or what?
Well, maybe next week, but no, our goal is of course I think it should be possible to already ship earlier and already give the patrons the opportunity to check let's say the increment out. So no, the goal is definitely not only to ship on Friday. That would in a way be a bit, let's say, irresponsible.
Yeah. So how do we know we're successful? Because that's also one we talked about.
Yeah, and we did not really had clarity about that one. But for me personally, it would be successful if we are able to ship, to create a first version, to really create a tangible PDF that contains strings. And on Friday, the majority of the patrons will give us a thumbs up and we'll say, okay, this is excellent. This is something that I am going to use next week in my team, in my organization.
Excellent.
Cool.
And we also did a sprint retrospective. I think the top that we experienced from last sprint was that, again, the sprint goal really gave us a lot of focus. Barry and I did a PSM2 class last week, so we actually lost, in a way, 2 days on other things. But the sprint goal really helped us to work on the stuff that mattered.
Yeah.
And do you remember what the tip was that we had?
Don't only focus on the upcoming sprint, but also try to look, so what are we trying to achieve on the long term?
So basically to actually refine work for the upcoming sprint, which is something that we kind of forgot to do.
Yeah. And now my arm is getting really tired, so let's wrap it up. And we hope to see you online Friday during the sprint review.
Cool. See you soon.
Bye bye.